This conference will now be recorded.
Quorum. It looks like Mr. Shoemake is not here right now, and but we still have a quorum. Uh, we'll call this Rome City Council meeting together. This is Thursday, June the 8th, 2023, and it is 6 o'clock. We'll start out with our invocation.
No, Pastor Van Zandt? No, ma'am, he isn't here this evening and we don't have a fill-in, so unless you or someone from the audience wants to do that.
I can say, you
Okay.
know, I can say a prayer. Yeah. Dear God, first of all, we come to you in gratitude to allow us to be here and communicate with one another and ask for your guidance and wisdom in discussing and deliberating on city business. I ask that you look out for our citizens here in Rome um, and take care of everyone. Amen. For public comments, the council is not permitted to take action on or discuss any comments made to the council at this time concerning an item not listed on the agenda. However, a council member or mayor may make a statement of fact regarding the item, make a statement concerning the policy regarding the item, and/or may propose that the item be placed on a future agenda or direct the city administrator to contact the individual to address. If you are attending the meeting live streaming and you would like to make a public comment, you must email the city secretary at citysecretary@cityofrome.com prior to 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting and must identify each subject you plan to present to be recognized. If the writer of a public comment is unable to read their own comment, it should be given to a friend, family member, or associate that is able to attend in person and read the statement in their stead. Public comments made in person require the speaker to submit the sign-up form to the city secretary prior to the meeting, and the form must identify each subject the speaker plans to present. A statement of no more than 3 minutes may be made. There will be no yielding of time to another person. Comments should be directed to the entire council, not individual members. Engaging in verbal attacks or comments intended to insult, abuse, malign, or slander any individuals shall be cause for termination of time privileges and removal from council chambers.
Mayor, our first speaker is Deborah Beecraft on the car show.
I'm Deborah Beecraft. I live at 360 West 2nd. I am also the commander of the Rome Veterans, and I wanted to let everyone know about the Support for Veterans Summer Car Show, June 24th in Boyd at their community center. We are also still accepting applications for vendors. And for the car show, we have new categories this year of under construction, Volkswagen, Jeep, Corvette, farm truck. We have rat rods. So pretty much anything you can bring in, we should have you covered. And you've probably seen this flyer on Facebook. So the forms for the car show are on our website along with the application for vendors. Just go to our website and then click forms and it'll drop down. And our website is just www.romeveterans.org. And on the car show, you're allowed to enter the day of the show. So if you show up that morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the fee?
The fee for the car show is $25. Same with the vendor for a 10 by 10 unless it's a food vendor.
And this is over in Boyd.
This is over in Boyd at their community center.
What are the hours on the 24th?
Cars start coming in at 9 o'clock. Vendors will be set up then. We start judging at noon and it should last, we should be giving out, have the awards finished by 4 o'clock. So 9 to 4, basically, for the public. Any other questions? Spread the word. Hope to see everybody there. It's for a good cause.
Okay. And announcements to mayor and council, city council meeting. It says June 8th, but I'm pretty sure it's June the 22nd.
Correct, you are.
Okay,
Ma'am, that was a,
2023 at 6 p.m. Any
Wait.
other announcements?
yes, we also have orientation for council on June 16th from 9 to 12 here in the community center. Looking at too many sixes on my piece of paper, so yes, June 17th.
All right, and any other announcements?
Rhome Community Library anniversary celebration on August 5th. Still a lot of planning going on with that, including usage of water in the family park. And that's supposedly going to be on the agenda for the next meeting
Very
to
good.
further that discussion. Thank you. They're supposed to be trying, so maybe you should get together with us. Thank you.
For the STEAM thing? Yeah, yeah. We wondered where you were. There were probably about 20 kids. It seemed like there were a lot of cars because I had to park. I had to park 2 blocks down. Okay. All right. Consent agenda number 1: minutes of city council regular session dated May 25th, 2023. Approval of ordinance 2023-04 mitigation rates for 2023. Approval of resolution 2023-12 Texas Smart Buy. Motion.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Monthly staff reports, departments, administration, building and development, fire rescue, municipal court, police, and public works. Anything other than what's in the packet? Okay. And regular agenda discussion, any necessary action for the following. Number 1, business hosted public safety event.
Is this working better? There we go. Thank you, Mayor. We do have Mr. Heinsohn here to speak about some of the details for that event and a potential date. So I would invite him to the microphone, please.
All right, we're there. So right now we're tentatively looking at July 1st for the community event. At this present time, we've got a bounce house. We got 4 different bounce houses. One is water slide. We've contacted an ice cream truck that's going to be here. Big problem that we're having right now is the DJ that I use and we deal with, he's out of state at the time. So if anybody has any of that, you can email us, talk to us, go from there. We've got 4 different food trucks and we're trying to get one of them to show up. We've got multiple businesses here in Rome that are jumping in and help be a part of it and come up with some other stuff for the community. So as of right now, July 1st is the date what we got going on. So I think we've talked to Scott and we've talked to Rachel at the police department about doing some like Identikid and some other stuff, trying to bring that in as well.
So council wanted this to come back as things started to move forward. And so this is going to be a quick turnaround, and I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to ask any questions prior to the event because you only have one more meeting between now and then.
So what companies are sponsoring the event?
Going to be both my businesses that are here locally. Joe from the property shop. We've talked to Pinnacle Bank over there. She's talked to us. We reached out to QT as well. They're going to see what they can do. They're budgeted out for the year, so they're going to still see what they can come out and do. Joe's reaching out to Rolling B, some of the people out there, see if they can jump in. We've talked to a lady over at H&R Block. So those are the people that are interested in being part of it. Everybody else right now is not showing much interest in it.
Sounds awesome. Can't wait.
For doing it, both of you.
All right, number 2, utility payment and health assistance program.
Thank you, Mayor. This is one that was brought back. It was tabled a couple of meetings ago, and I put some information in your packet. I have reached out to the Texas Utility Help Program, as well as I've sent their contract to our attorney before we would enter into any agreement with them. That's standard practice for any city. You will see that one of his associates in his office had some concerns that we may want to consider. I understand that this is a program through which folks who are very low income can apply for assistance to help with utility payments, which would be gas, water, wastewater, electric, etc. And we sign up as a vendor. It doesn't cost us anything necessarily to sign up, but the concerns are that the current contract, the way it's written, it will put some administrative oversight on our staff because we may have to, excuse me, there may be some requirements that we have to put special notices on the bills for those who are paying through Texas Help, Utility Help. And I have put in a call to them, but it's very difficult to reach because it's a multi-layered company. And I'm not even certain that we have to sign this agreement because since we're only providing water, not electric and others, then I need to verify with them. And I've left a couple of messages, but I haven't heard. So I'm bringing it back to see if council wants us to participate in this program or wants to give some direction before we sign up for this. I don't know how many people will take advantage of it, but it may be an avenue that's useful to our residents.
From what I saw, it looked like that we didn't necessarily have to sign up as a vendor.
That's what I saw in the FAQs as well. And so I called them and spent a considerable time on hold and finally got a hold of a young woman, and she wasn't sure. She directed me to some email addresses, and I haven't heard back yet. But I did hear from Mr. Atkins' office that they have gone through this process with several other cities that are clients of theirs, so it's not an unknown entity, which does make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, because what is the repercussion if they somehow can't fund whatever it is that they're paying for?
I think it's just as they apply, and as the resident applies for the service, they have to sign up with the company. I did talk to someone named Lorinda, and so someone who wants to take advantage of this, they create a case number and they make a request. And if it's funded, then they send them an email, and then we work through the behind the scenes processes to get the check cut to the city of Rome. And so my only concern is if this becomes, we've only got one utility billing clerk, and if this becomes laborious, I don't know. But if we have a lot of people sign up, that could certainly benefit them as well. So my recommendation would be that we try it for 3 to 6 months and see what kind of response we get and then reevaluate.
You also have listed on here a second program
Correct.
through Wise Health. So I'm curious about the oversight and the
So
burden on the.
the Unite Us is a different program. That's more for social support of things like health-related items. I went to a presentation, and I would like to have them come down and talk to council because there is a cost to the city to participate. It's minimal to a great extent. It's $500 a year, but it helps a wide range of disabled and veterans and those who don't have health insurance or aren't covered by other items. And the neat thing about that program is it tracks them through. So as they match a person with an agency, they also circle back around to see what the outcome was. So some of the cities in Wise County are participating. I believe Bridgeport and Decatur are already a part of this program. But when we were discussing it before, the cost was something that I didn't know if we wanted to go that direction on that. They have stated that they don't believe their merger is going to affect this program with the health system. So that's something we could also consider. And it might be something you want to bring forward during this next budget process as a potential funded item.
Are utilities included in the Wise Health
No, ma'am.
support? No.
Not that I can recall. That's why I'd like them to come give you a more robust presentation. We only had about a 15 to 20 minute overview at the city managers meeting, so we'd want to get some more details.
Now, with the utility thing, I mean, it seems like we should give it a try simply because, I mean, what's our alternative? Shut off their water, play the bad guy? As long as the overhead isn't too much. And then I know that in this area, mental health resources are really needed. I walk the streets a lot, and I've run into people who really needed help. I think in one case, the police officer was kind enough to take the man up to Decatur where he could get some assistance. So I think that those would both be good things.
Well, if we could get the Unite Us folks to come down and speak to you all, then that would be something for you to consider in this coming budget year. I don't think a few months delay is going to be that detrimental for us, and it is something that's fairly low cost because the hospital's bearing the brunt of the buy-in. So we get to tag along as a partner. That would be my recommendation to you all at least. So all I would need is council direction. If you want us to go ahead and proceed with the Texas Utility Help and then monitor the progress for the next 3 to 6 months, we can bring you back a report, or I can update you in some form or fashion as to the success of that program.
Yeah, I think let's try it and see
Okay.
how it goes. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I needed to find because I just wasn't real sure. The contract's kind of unwieldy for some of us, and we don't have the authority in the office to waive fees, and that's one of the things that's required in here. So we would have to double check on the contract itself and see if they will amend that. Okay, thank you.
And number 3, Wise County Sheriff Dispatch Fee.
Thank you, Mayor. This is back on the agenda this evening. Mr. Loftus at the last meeting volunteered to write a letter to the sheriff's office on behalf of the council. I have printed copies and left it there for you. That draft was also in the packet. I also provided you with a copy of the letter that the regional mayor's team has been working on in case you wanted to read that as well. I'm happy to take direction on whichever way council would like to go. If you'd like to wait until the regional mayor's group meets this Saturday, that's also something that you could consider.
Do you mean wait before we approve Mr.
Either way.
Loftus's letter?
Either way.
Do y'all have any suggestions on the letter? I mean, have y'all read through it?
My thoughts last meeting for having a proclamation was just so that we could get some momentum and move forward. So, but if their letter is ready to go and ready to move forward, it's not.
I have been talking with them about this letter for a while, and there's been some rewrites of it, and I don't know that they've come to an agreement on all parties. So that would be at Rhome's discretion.
Do we know what the sticking point is on the letters?
I think some of it was just, I think some parties to the letter felt it was a little direct and needed to be maybe a little more balanced in that draft. I do think that the good majority of the cities that are participating are in favor of the letter the way that it's drafted. I don't have any other edits to it, but I'm assuming that they will talk about it on Saturday.
Okay, there's only 4 cities, so I mean, which ones aren't?
We had some drafts to the letter, some rewrites.
Okay,
Back
Oh,
when it was
okay.
originally drafted, we had some rewrites to the letter.
okay.
I'd just like to point out that one of these letters is to Lane Aiken, and then the other letter is to J.D. Clark. So both of them may be appropriate as well.
The only thing that I see in this letter is I could see the sheriff taking offense to maybe telling him how to run his county. And not that you're doing that, but I could see him taking it as that. So I mean, that's the only thing that I really saw. Everything else is really good.
Just a question.
I don't know what to tell you. It's what I wrote down. So.
Yeah, I think he's got a career, a lifetime of law enforcement from the Rangers and DPS and anyway. But no, I was just going to ask a question about when this was brought up early on. It seems to me that I've got two questions. There was something brought up that said, well, we don't have to go through the sheriff's office. We can go through a vendor. And, Decatur or Bridgeport, that was one of the options. And then also, negotiating power, I'm thinking the county has to have some sort, at least one antenna, I would think, on top of one of our water tower, or on top of our water tower.
I'm not
Of some
aware of it,
sort.
but that doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, I would think. Are there four
Well,
or
there are 4 or
five?
5 up there, but there may not all be the sheriffs.
Yeah, but it's something, it may not all be, as long as they're county, it may be something we can negotiate with.
That would be before my time. I'd have to do
Okay.
some checking.
Yeah, I
did do some research into something called software as a service, where it's basically a turnkey dispatch that you subscribe to. They're out of California, but they do not cover Texas right now. They haven't expanded into this area, was their feedback. Just something else we could look for, but I can't find any other that would provide that type of turnkey dispatch service.
Well, and as mentioned, a lot of the cities in southern Wise County are talking about regionalizing some services. That discussion will also come up Saturday at the Boyd Community Center. And I'm thinking that you will start to see more of that. You may have read in the newspaper that New Fairview and Boyd are partnering on court and police services as well. So in the next year or two, that may be something that we discuss, is how do we regionalize that part of our public safety so that we can use economies of scale, if you will, in that service delivery.
I think as we think about moving forward, it would be to our benefit to stick with the small communities that are like us. So, and I don't know how much a letter directly to Sheriff Aiken, I don't know how he would feel about that. Not that I don't know that it would make a difference, but I think a letter to the judge, who maybe the judge has the oversight,
Yes.
I think that's a little more appropriate.
It's whichever way council would like to go. You may want to see if Saturday they decide to send the letter to the judge, and if they don't, you may want to retool Mr. Loftus's letter to Judge Clark instead of to the sheriff. That would certainly be something that would be within your purview.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Did anyone see the news in the Wise County
I did.
Messenger today?
Yes.
That Lane Aiken is not going to run for re-election.
Mhm.
So,
And did y'all also see that they have grant money that's going to be available possibly in September for rural sheriff's departments to help with their income, like sheriff deputies' income? I mean, I would think that might be able to supplement that too.
I did not see that article, but I would hope they would apply.
Who from this group, what time is the meeting on Saturday, and who from our group?
Usually Mayor Mitchell attends that as well,
It's at
and I
10
believe
a.m.
Are you
over
going,
in Boyd.
are you going to be able to attend?
any other questions or direction to staff on the letter itself.
I'm comfortable waiting through the meeting on Saturday, but I would really like for us to move forward.
Okay. We had a city managers meeting this week, and I did convey to all of my peers that this was something our council was considering. So regardless of what happened with the regional letter, that you all may be in favor of issuing your own letter that states our position. So we can certainly look to see what happens on Saturday at the meeting. Thank you.
No further action on that one? All right, I had asked this last one, number 4, code enforcement, to be put on the agenda. However, the resident who had asked me to do so is not here this evening, so we will table that item. And do you have anything for executive session? Okay, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Like one person to say no.